Well, thanks for logging on for another Match Fishing Monday. In this video I've got news of 4 big competitions that took place last week, and I've also got news about 2 interleagues and a competition that runs right the way throughout next year. Well, there were no matches for me this weekend. I spent one of the days just trying to catch up on loads of work that I'd kind of needed to catch up on. And on Saturday it was our latest coaching day. We managed to get some pegs at the fantastic Staunton HARWOOD, and the weather forecast wasn't good at all, but it's a stunning venue. The rain was just about constant throughout the day, but there was some fish caught. It fished alright. We expected it being hard, you know, the water level had dropped, and with the forecast rain due to be in for the day, I think everyone was prepared to batten down the hatches and just knuckle down and just catch what we could. As it turned out, there was some lovely fish caught. You know, as the session progressed, it was quite clear that the fish were moving out. The wind was quite strong when we first got there, and we caught some fish early on. But then as the wind dropped, it was quite clear that the fish actually moved out, and the anglers that kind of chased the fish out or just kept unclipping and going that little bit further managed to stay in touch with the fish. The top weight was John. He had a fantastic net of fish considering the conditions. He must have had close on 30 pound. Absolute beautiful fish. But I mean, that's Staunton HARWOOD, you know, it's an exciting venue, and that's why it's such a popular venue. Well, the first big competition of last week was the 2-day South East Reservoir Championship. It's a new competition, you know, and it's been run obviously down in the southeast, and the final, it was a 2-day final. It was held at the mighty Bow Beach. It's a competition I would have loved to have been involved in, but Bow Beach is over 200 miles away from where I live, and what they actually did was they had a series of qualifiers, and that was all leading up to the 2-day final, which took place last week. The 2-day final was ran as a weight competition, and it was actually Steve HARWOOD who won the competition. Massive congratulations, Steve. And England feeder team manager Dean BARLOW was actually second. He was runner-up in that competition as well. So it looked like it was a really successful competition, and there were some big names in that final as well. And when it's a weight affair like it was on that 2-day final, it kind of keeps the event alive. You know, I'm a fan of points competitions, but when you've got a final like that that's based on weight, it means that if you do crash out on day one, with venues like that, they are capable of throwing up some big weights, and so you're always riding it right until, you know, the last 2 or 3 hours of day 2, because if the fish rock up, you can really put a big weight together. But massive well done, Steve. Huge congratulations, and hopefully that competition will go ahead again next year. Another big competition that took place last week was the Maver Festival down at the mighty Whiteacres. That's not something that, you know, it's not a venue I've really spoke about much on this channel. I have only ever fished 2 festivals at Whiteacres, and that was back in 2011. And I fished 2 back to back. I fished the first one, which back then I think it was the Bait Tech Festival. It was called that. I don't know what it's called now. And then that led into, I think it was the Dynamite Festival. So I'm obviously going back a few years there. But I've never featured that venue on this channel, but the festival scene there is still very, very popular. The festival last week, like I say, it was the Maver Festival, and that was won by John Harvey. Massive well done, John, you know, to win down there on that venue, on a venue that some anglers have been going there for 15-20 years. They know the venue, and some of them are top class anglers. To go there and win is just fantastic. Second place was Andy Bennett, who's a regular podium finisher down there at Whiteacres. He's a force to be reckoned with on all commercials, especially down there, so well done, mate. And in third place was Ben Dales. So it's great to see the festival scene down there still going really strong, and hopefully I might get a chance to get back there at some stage. I'd love to revisit it down there and fish one of the festivals. The third big competition of last week was Feeder King. Now, lots of you will know about that competition because you've no doubt followed me through my qualifiers, or some of the qualifiers that I fished there this year. Unfortunately, I had to go back to work, and so I had to sell my last 2 tickets, so it wasn't a place in the final for me, unfortunately. But the final was last weekend, and it's a 1-day final, and it was won by Steve Ringer. I don't really need to big up Steve in any way. Everyone knows Steve, and you know, I know winning that meant a massive amount to him. You know, we've kind of discussed the venue, and just through text messages and things as he was going through his qualifying campaign. And you know, it's been such a difficult venue to figure out this summer. You know, it's been so difficult, it's been so random. And you know, it hasn't fished to its potential, and so going into that final it was kind of wide open, but he obviously had a plan. I've read his match report on how he won it, and the way that he actually managed his match has kind of been, you know, the way that we've been fishing it and the way that I've fished it as well. But obviously you need to be able to do that quite disciplined. You need to do it in an area where there are one or two fish, and through reading Steve's report, he was very disciplined in the way that he's actually fished it. He's fished a 2-line approach at about 42 and 62 metres, and the wind was blowing down into the canal bank. He's been on peg 53, and it just it's not taken much of a weight. You know, he was confident of winning it there, or doing well there if it didn't fish very well, and that's exactly what's happened. He's weighed just over 15 pounds, but that's been enough to win the £10,000 cheque. So massive congratulations, Steve. I know how much it means to you. A big congratulations to Graham Lewis for coming second, and Barnsley angler Brett Clark was third. Brett's very consistent on there anyway, so great to see the competition look so successful, and the coverage from the lads on social media looked brilliant. I mean, I wasn't there to see it live as they were doing the live feeds and stuff, but it's just great to see Andy Renton and Mick Axon and Newfish as well for running that event and sponsoring it and everything. It looks a massive success yet again, and hopefully I'll be taking place in that myself next year. The final big competition of the weekend was Riverfest. Lots of people love Riverfest purely because it's based on rivers. You know, there are so many competitions out there that are based on commercial fisheries. Riverfest is all about rivers, you know, and it's gone through a major qualifying campaign, as you can imagine, which is all built up to a 2-day final, which was this weekend. 2-day final, and it was based on weight. Paul Cannon ended up winning it. He won day one with a 40-pound plus weight of bream. It was on the River Trent, for those people that don't know, around the Burton Joyce stretch, which I know a lot of you will know. It's a venue that I knew from being a kid, you know. That was the first place I ever learnt when I was a kid. My dad taught me how to fish with a stick float. On the Golden Mile, I think they used to call it there, below the outfall. I used to catch gudgeon on the stick float every trot down. Fantastic event, and Paul's gone on to win the event. Huge congratulations, Paul. The ironic thing was, I drew next to Paul a couple of days after he actually qualified. I drew next to him at Fleet's Dam. So I'm over the moon for Paul. I'm sure that'll mean a lot to him, and he spends a lot of time on the rivers. I know he really enjoys fishing the Trent. Clive Fletcher was second, so unlucky Clive, but great to see all those competitors in that final. And third place went to Darren Frost, and it was quite clear this year that competition had got some really big names in it. What's really happened, and there's been a bit of a trend this year, is that because of what's been happening in the world, lots and lots, if not all, of the world and the international events have all been cancelled or postponed until next year. And what that's actually done is it's actually freed up a lot of the international anglers' time to go and compete in these competitions. So where you might have had the England float team or the England feeder team away on European duty fishing the European Champs or the World Championships, because they haven't taken place, we've seen some of these top anglers actually entering some of these qualifiers and these, you know, big competitions, what they don't normally get a chance to compete in. So that's really made these events even more special to win this year. Now winter is just around the corner, and I've got news of 2 leagues for you. These are very much local leagues to where I live, and they are being run at Aston Park Fisheries. I'll put the website link below for you if you want to check out the fishery, but if you live in this area, then there are 2 fantastic leagues that you can compete in, individual leagues that will take you right the way through the winter. Now one of them is a anything goes kind of winter league, and the other one is a silverfish league, and I know lots of viewers to this channel are big silverfish fans, I know. So all the details are right here for you, so if you want to check out the dates and just see if that is a league for you. As of, or the time of filming, there are places left in those leagues, so if that's something you're interested in, give the fishery a call or just log on to the website for more information. So the great thing with leagues is, you know, let's face it, when the weather's a little bit, it's not too favourable, when the alarm clock goes off and it's dark and you can hear the wind or the rain on the window, it's sometimes difficult to get out of bed in winter. But when you're fishing a league, you know, it just gives you something to kind of to focus on, to concentrate on, and it keeps you getting out there fishing, because most of the time once we get out there we are glad we got out there even through winter. So hopefully those 2 leagues are a bit of interest to you. And the final competition I would like to let you know about is one that runs right the way through 2021. Now it's a competition that ran this year very successfully, and it's run by Jason Goymer, and it's the Midlands Fishing Matches Championship, and basically it's a series of qualifiers on 3 different venues in the Midlands, as the name suggests, that culminate in a final in October next year. Now the 3 venues are Lavender Hall, Barston Lakes and Meadowlands. I'm sure a lot of you will know those venues, but like I say, these are run in the Midlands, but anybody can fish them. So here are the full list of qualifiers and dates for you. Basically, it's a qualification campaign, so you can fish as many of those as you wish in order to qualify for that big money final in October. So I'm giving you loads of notice on that. The tickets for that competition went on sale on the 1st of October, and at the time of filming this there are still tickets available for those qualifiers. So if you don't want to miss out on that competition, I know it's going to be successful again next year like it has been this year, then I suggest you have a look at the website now just to see if there are any tickets available for your favoured venue and date. But that looks a fantastic competition. I heard nothing but praise from everybody who fished it last year, so another fantastic job, Jason. And well done for getting the tickets up for sale so early, because let's face it, there are that many matches on the calendar now that we just really need to make our minds up when we're going to be fishing and what we're going to be fishing, and it's great to get them booked in just so that you can plan your matches, because that's the way it is now. You know, there's so much on the calendar, we've all got to try and be a little bit more organised these days. Well, that's been a big match roundup for you. If you want to let me know about other matches that are taking place or matches that took place last week or upcoming matches, then please use the comment section below. The next upload is on Thursday at 7 PM, where I've got a 35-minute cage feeder session video for you. And let's face it, the water's getting colder now, there are more silverfish matches taking place, so if you don't want to miss out on any of the future videos, please hit subscribe. And if you want to see more coaching tuition style videos, have a look just there at Patreon TV. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday.